Moon gang, welcome to the show of dumb money. So happy that you could be here with me today, Thursday, December 9th. We're about 30 minutes out from the market going ding, 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 seeing what the casino has in store for us today. Very, very excited to do this with all of you. Let's get rocking. Oh, we have some fun things to talk about this morning. And I guess with that, let me try to burn through all of it just to kind of get us all ready for the day. And then I'll turn it over to you before the market goes ding, ding, ding. So if there's any of those questions, more than happy to help out with that. So after a nice movement, past 3 days, green, a little bit of reality starting to catch up. We're seeing a little bit of red here now. The futures for the Dow, the S&P, the NASDAQ, oil's down, the bonds are down, these yields are down. Like, we're seeing some red now. And hey, sometimes that's just a reversion play. Yesterday, when we were talking about this stochastic indicator, even that indicator alone was kind of showing the extreme nature that the S&P had pushed to the upside. And that type of stuff is not really sustainable in the long term. So sometimes you just need to get these like healthy reversions, kind of come back to some sort of average, some sort of mean. And I think that's all we have right here, because overall things are still looking pretty good. Like I'm feeling good about what's going on, especially seasonally. If you check out equity clock, we're seeing a lot of positive momentum there. This period until about the first week of January, it's a bullish period. And as we're about to really get into it, the other concerns are starting to subside. So Wall Street set for a lower open after a 3-day win streak. And that's exactly what's going on. It's, once again, we'll dive into the charts, of course, but I think things are just kind of calming down a little bit. Let's see if we can base at some nice new higher low and kind of bounce off of that. New jobless claims last week hit a new 5-decade low. Weekly jobless claims fall to 184,000, the lowest level in more than 52 years. Now, this is kind of interesting. So jobless claims, a 52-year low. But on top of it, for October, we have a new report, like now that the month is concluded, from October, 4.2 million people left. And that's actually very, very high, incredibly high. And September, the month before, it was actually 4.4 million that month. So we are in this weird scenario where we're seeing a mass exodus from the job place, from the labor market. And I don't know why. I'm not some fancy schmancy big brain economist that understands all of the nuances that I need to understand. But part of me is starting to wonder if inflation is so great and the fact that pay, especially hourly pay, is not increasing at a similar rate that like is overcome inflation, that people are starting to realize that this is like the time, it's just not worth it. It's not worth time. It's not worth my time. I'm curious. Let me know in a comment if you think that's why, but like so many people are leaving the job market right now. And that's kind of my thought on it is like, okay, if everything's expensive, but pay is not going to the same rate, I think people are starting to say, what's the point? So if you recently left your job, September, October, something like that, let me know why. Is it something that the math just didn't add up? I'm very, very curious about that. Moving on, Apple gets a reprieve, Amazon fine, and Instagram chief waivers. Okay, a couple things to talk about here. So Apple is currently in a court case, actually by Epic, who created Fortnite, and it has to do with like where the App Store and where things are listed and who's making the money, who's not making the money, that type of stuff. Apple won a reprieve for having to make major changes to its lucrative App Store while it appeals an antitrust lawsuit brought by Fortnite creator Epic Games. This is kind of an interesting issue of just like, it really is like an antitrust thing. Like, do they have the monopoly running there? So right here, they won. A judge gave them this, that they don't have to change as the appeal is going through. Moving on to Amazon. In Italy, they were fined 1.28 billion once again for abusing market dominance. They're actually appealing that, saying that 50% of their annual sales on its platform in Italy come from small and medium-sized businesses. And then finally, let's talk about Meta. Let's talk about Instagram. This is kind of interesting right now, and I've been talking about this a little bit over the past couple days. Instagram the data coming in is it's showing it's not good for the world's youth. Like what it's doing to, unfortunately, very unfortunately, reports of anxiety, depression, an increase in suicide rate. It's bad stuff. And with this, so Adam, the CEO of Instagram, he refused to commit to permanently ending the pause plans to create a version of Instagram for kids under 13. So right now it is paused, but he wouldn't say that they're going to just like completely nix the idea, which is a little bit crazy. And beyond this, I just want to talk about it a little bit more because it was news yesterday, but we're seeing Roku perform very, very well. Roku is doing so well because it did come to a deal with Google, aka Alphabet, to keep YouTube on its platform. So Roku performing pretty well. Just another, I guess, corporate update for you there. GameStop shares drop as video game retailers' loss widens. So I have a little bit more information for you here. GameStop shares fall as video game retailer reports widening losses in third quarter. GameStop shares fell after the company reported that losses widened in the fiscal third quarter. So they are reporting a loss of $1.39 per share. Expectations were in the range of 50 to 55 cents. Most were putting it at 52, 53. They did have pretty solid revenue, 1.3 billion, and last year it was $1 billion. So the revenue is going up, but their operating expenses are getting higher. Inventories grew in the latest quarter as GameStop looked to get ahead of supply chain challenges that will and be well stocked for the holiday. So I like that. This was a very quick call. It lasted basically a couple minutes, and I personally wanted to hear more about the NFT marketplace. I wanted to hear more about their dipping their toes into crypto. I wanted to hear about their plans, and they really just didn't give it to us. So Matt Furlong is the current CEO of GameStop, and he said, along with its core business, he said that the video game retailer is exploring emerging opportunities, including blockchain, NFTs, and Web 3.0 gaming. I wanted to hear more about this. I wanted to hear their plans. I wanted to know what was going on. Maybe they are keeping their cards close to their chest because they don't want to give any of their competitors an advantage. That's very, very possible. But as an investor, I just wanted more. I really did. Like, it was so quick, and it's just, I don't know. I'm comparing it right now to some of these other CEOs who are there, and they're not continually just giving us, I suppose, like, they're just giving us more. And I don't know, as a shareholder, when to me, I have money on the line, like what I consider to be a serious amount of money. I guess I just want more. I want more transparency. I want to know what's going on. I want some of these times, like on these quarterly announcement calls, like sometimes I like to borrow the confidence of the leadership team, and you, in a certain sense, you feel like reinvigorated of like, yes, this is exactly why I'm in it. These people are talking exactly what I want them to talk about. They make you feel good to be an investor. And with this, I was a little bit let down. Now, with that all being said, I'm not doing anything. I still have all my shares. I have complete confidence. I'm very much thinking that it's more of the tactic that they are trying to keep their cards close to their chest. They don't want to give out a competitive advantage. That's my thought process. I have no connection at all with Furlong, with Cohen, with any of them. So I'm hoping that's what it is. And I'm hoping that when they finally unveil this NFT marketplace, it wows everyone and the stock goes haywire and the supporters of GME are very, very happy. I am 100% holding on, but I do wish that there was a bit more, I guess, discussion with the shareholders. Continuing on, focus on long-term means we will continuously prioritize growth and market leadership over short-term margins. And this is actually kind of some of my thought right here, is the fact that they even said this. So over short-term margins, it tells me that they're playing the long-term game. It tells me that they're here to permanently improve the trajectory of GME in the long term with this type of commentary. So, okay, I get it. This play has gone from the insanity of Keith Gill calling out the insane short interest and the fact that the company's undervalued, which is really telling us that it was ripe for a squeeze, and the insanity of January when all that was playing out, to now, through various rounds of funding, they raise the money and they're improving the company, and it's very quickly right here, long-term long-term prioritized growth. They're not too concerned with short-term margins. So wanted to give you that quick update there of what's going on with GME this morning. FDA clears AstraZeneca's COVID treatment for the immunocompromised. So that's another positive update we have in the world of Rona and additional. Obviously that's a subset of the population that we need these types of things. So immunocompromised, that's good that they have now an additional option for all of them. Now, a little bit in the world of crypto. Buterin, the Ethereum, a co-founder of that, outlines endgame roadmap for ETH 2.0. I don't want to go too much into detail on this. This is the type of thing that I think would fit best on a crypto-based stream, which ideally I will start rocking with that on Monday of next week. So not cutting out any of the other stuff. The morning stream, the afternoon stream, and I just want to do additional work and do a crypto-based stream about like a 20 to 45 minute, depending on what's going on today. So just think like a 30-minute crypto stream of like an update of what's going on in the world of crypto. The world's growing insanely. I'm getting a lot of questions, and I think it'll be good to have a piece of content that is like specific for that, for people who maybe don't care about the stock market, but care about the crypto market type of a deal, or just like a place where if you have all your crypto-based questions, we can kind of answer them there and maybe do some crypto interviews, that type of stuff. I mean, a lot of opportunity, but overall, I'm a huge Ethereum supporter. Culturally, societally, I think that these utility-based crypto projects are where everything is trending to. I strongly believe that. And Ethereum right now is very much leading the pack in it. And I think if you care about Ethereum, if you care about crypto, if you care about utility coins, this is a very good read. You can find it on Cointelegraph. Check it out. But for me, I've staked almost all of my ETH, like I would say 95% of it for ETH 2.0. And I'm waiting for it to switch, among many other things, to go from proof of work to proof of stake. And with it, it might become officially a deflationary asset. Could be interesting. So on a little bit of the political front, you have more and more countries that are joining the diplomatic boycott of the Beijing Olympics. Canada officially joined, Australia joined, Netherlands is on the list. Every single day, the list is growing more and more and more. And so, I don't know, I'm assuming that this will most likely prompt some political tensions. This is a very interesting story. Elizabeth Holmes testifies she's never misled investors. So, if you've been following this case of Theranos, Elizabeth Holmes was currently now the disgraced CEO, and apparently it was a big fraud, alleged fraud. The defense just rested, and now the jury will be deliberating, and we're going to find out the result of this. But this was crazy. There's been various documentaries on it. I particularly find it to be an interesting storyline, but the company was Theranos, and it was supposed to revolutionize testing, and it related to blood testing. And basically with a drop of blood, you could figure out everything you need to figure out. And just the tech wasn't there, the science wasn't there. And many people were duped. Many people were schemed. And it became this whole thing. And obviously she's now in court for basically misleading investors and stealing money and blah, blah, blah. It's a crazy court case. The defense just rested, and we will be finding out more after the jury deliberates on all of the charges. So just wanted to give that to you before we hop into all of the technicals. So right now, yes, the S&P 500, green, solid. We were within spitting distance of the all-time high. Today, we're taking a little bit of a breather, at least in pre-market. Now, over the past 3 days, if you check out the chart, there's this pattern of like some weird volatility and some weird bearish-based volatility right in the morning, and then it's kind of sideways, and then from there, it ends up pushing. So I'm wondering if that's still what's going to happen. So just a little bit of bearishness. I do admit some of the shorter term technicals are a little hot. Things need to calm down. We're just getting to the point where we are 2 standard deviations above any average move. So we might just need to take a breather of a day. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what today is, this particular Thursday whatsoever. But we're still looking really good. I would love to see this test of 470, 50 on the S&P 500. In terms in the tech heavy, NASDAQ, I was looking for a test of 400. It hit 399.82. I mean, I was off by 18 cents. It was off of that technical level, the key psychological level. The cues are going to be important. Microsoft, Apple, Tesla, just the tech heavy stocks. And right here, it's coming down similar to the S&P 500, coming down a little bit in pre-market. If it comes down quite a bit, yes, we can watch this gap fill. And this does relate to a play that I'm currently in with NVIDIA, where it's causing NVIDIA to gap down. Now, I was looking hopefully for that break of 324. As of now, we didn't get it, but the expiration for this call is not this Friday, but next Friday. So I still have time to see what's going on, and maybe we'll get a test of even 334. So I'm going to be patient with it, but right now I will also clearly be watching tech. Finally, with the Russell 2000, the third indice we really pay attention to here, the Russell 2000, very heavy with AMC. AMC is the largest equity in it. And I was looking for a gap fill to 228.54, similar to the SPY and the tech heavy Qs right now. We're seeing a little bit of coming off of the close from yesterday, taking a little bit of a breather right now. The Russell's kind of a tough play in itself because you have a gap above it to 228.50, but you also have a gap below it to 220, and we're like basically halfway in that region. So it's a flip of a coin scenario. I do think obviously there is an edge to playing gap fills, but when you have two gaps, one above, one below, you just kind of have to be patient and let it all play out. In terms of crypto, it has been flat, just not really doing much. I do like that Bitcoin has recaptured, I guess, this bounce off of 42,000. For a good amount of time, it was above 50,000, still hanging out at 49. I'm still just basically calling it 50, but just it's flat. There's no clear trend. After this sell-off, people have based it at 50, and we're waiting for that next move. Ethereum was slowly drifting upward. It hit 4,400, currently at 43. I'm still a fan of Ethereum. Loopring, a little bit of volatility there, most likely related to the GameStop earnings announcement, because people were like, hey, are they going to officially call out Loopring? Remember, there's a huge assumption, and it's one of those things that if you look at the GitHub and who's following who on social media, it's pretty obvious. It is pretty obvious that Loopring is supporting GameStop, but it still hasn't been officially announced. So I think, along with many other people, myself, I was waiting to see if that was going to be discussed in the GameStop earnings call, and it wasn't. So I think with that prompted a little bit of bearish negativity in Loopring. Avalanche, I'm finally in Avalanche. I got in at 90. This is it. I had to use some for like some other crypto stuff that I'm working on, and I have some videos cooking in the background for all of you. But those videos for some of these super incredibly high risk projects, they take some time. So basically what I'm doing is these DAO projects, I am working on it in the background. I staked some of my own money, and I want to figure out if they're a scam or not. And I'll be making a video to explain to all of you my thoughts, my feelings. But right now, I'm at the point of waiting. So I need about 5 days, 10 days, 15 days. It seems like their ROI is kind of based on 5-day increments. And that stuff is going to be kind of really interesting, especially for the crypto shows. I can give you an update of what is and isn't going on. But actually, I don't even know how I'm doing today on any of that. I don't know. That world, there's just so much crazy. There's crazy opportunity, but whenever you have a world of new, especially tech-based opportunity, you also have a bunch of scams. And sifting through this of like what is or isn't a scam, it's tough. It's tough, especially if you're kind of new to the world of crypto. So that's why I think maybe I can make kind of a mini video series here of some of these projects, what I do or don't think is a scam, maybe some ways to protect yourself from getting scammed when it comes to the world of crypto. I think all of that stuff could be super, super beneficial to the community. So I'll be doing it, and I'll kind of film it throughout it of how I started, how to do it all, and the results at the end, and my like overall thoughts on it. So look for that to be coming in like kind of a weekly update type of a thing, and I'll let you know how it's all going because I put my own money on the line. Overall, let's quickly go into the technicals of AMC GME. So like the overall market, AMC is coming down a little bit, but I very much like that it closed above 31.25 yesterday on above the 10-day average volume. Fan of that. So let's see if it can still, I'm looking at midway through this region of resistance, I'm looking at that $35 area. In terms of GameStop, yes, the reaction to the earnings announcement is a negative one. It was a very short one. They didn't really talk about crypto. They had a wider than expected loss. It makes a lot of logical sense that right here, like when you have, they beat on revenue, they missed on earnings, people are reacting negatively to it. And right now it closed at 173 and we're getting a gap down to 166. For me, maybe it's silly, maybe it's an emotional thing, but I have such a nostalgic, sentimental value for GME. I'm not getting rid of it. I'm just going to hold it. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold it. And I'm going to do a little bit more of holding it. That is not an appropriate, by any means, an appropriate, I guess, methodology for all of you. I just think of GameStop and AMC different than any other equity. I will actively trade whatever stock I want to out there, but AMC and GME, they're symbolic of something special to me, and I very much think of them differently than every other equity crypto future option out there in the world. Like AMC and GME, I have them, I hold of them, and they're there. But for everything else, I mean, we're talking about Nvidia, Lucid, Tesla, Rivian, Apple, Robinhood, all of these. For me, those are fair game. I'm going to trade them whenever I see an opportunity. I'm going to actively trade them whenever I see opportunity. Right here, speaking of GME, we want it in terms of technicals to recapture 167 as rapidly as it can. In pre-market trading, it's at 166.60, so it's like very, very close. But this support level, so resistance, support. We're looking for a recapture that as quickly as it can possibly happen. So that's what I'll be paying attention to on GME today. AMC, GME, hopefully things start turning around. The SPY, it's getting a little bit of buyers. I don't know. The stochastics, it was showing us that we had like a statistically abnormal move recently. So maybe we need a little bit of a breather. Maybe this pre-market session was a breather enough, and maybe we can get ripping today. So fingers crossed. Let's see what's going on. We have about 8 minutes left, and I would love to return these 8 minutes to all of you. Let your questions fire. If you have questions, if you're seeing some opportunity, if you have whatever, let's let it go. Let's let them rip. Hey, Matt, daily listener here. My baby ape Noah, whose favorite song is Going to the Moon, is 5 years old today. He would love a happy birthday shout out. Noah, a baby ape, a space ape in training. Happy birthday, Noah. Folks in chat, if you can join me, we have a 5-year-old space ape in training, hopefully going to be a leading space ape in a couple years here. If you could all join me in wishing a happy birthday to Noah, I'm sure we could all be a little part of making his special happy birthday a little bit better. That would be awesome. Let's give it up to Noah. Look at that. I hope Noah's paying attention right now. Shout out. That's so cool. Noah. We always get excited when there's new space apes. It's similar to when we were watching those ape videos. The exciting ones that where we all got really excited was when there was a new ape in the screen, a new baby ape. Feliz cumpleaños, Noah. Oh, I like this. Look how awesome this community is. So cool. I appreciate all of you. You guys are awesome. Awesome. I don't care what they write about you on the bathroom walls. I know you guys are awesome. All right. What other questions do we have? Let's let them rock. Let's bring up actually some of these other charts while I'm letting some of these questions pour in. Lucid down a little bit in pre-market is similar to Tesla. Tesla down $7. Rivian had a good day yesterday. If Rivian pops above 126, I think this thing might get going again. Is that fundamentally valued? Does it make sense? Absolutely not. But also, why does that matter? That doesn't matter whatsoever. Robinhood, down. This crappy company. Nvidia, 317. Actually, only $1. Not bad. Let's hope that there's a quick reversion there. PayPal. How am I feeling about PayPal? I've been very much liking it. So it's off $1 today, but I mark this as a buy signal. And thus far, it has been crushing it. Somewhere between 180, 190, currently at 196, coming off of 197. I think if this gets above 200, you're talking 215. And then after that, you're talking 226. Those are the levels I would watch. You're buying it on some weakness. I like it. All right, things are kind of turning around. AMC kind of flat. GME getting a bid. Nvidia did get a bid, but that got smacked. The SPY, I guess we're going to find out in 5 minutes. Some people, I see CLMT. What? I don't know much about this. It's been on a nice trend upward. It's pretty close to top ticking it, so I would prefer to get in closer to this region of consolidation where it was previously found demand. So I think the closer to 11, the better. You're just minimizing your risk. But I don't know anything fundamentally about this company, CLMT. I'll give you a quick Ortex update. Right now, the estimated short interest for AMC is 19.15%. Thus far, they've already borrowed 73,000 shares against it. GME short interest following the earnings announcement last night is 13.2%. They've already borrowed 61,000 against it today. As soon as we get the updates from Tiblio, the flow updates, we'll give you those. And I could also go over some of the alerts from it. Some people are asking for Prog right here. I'm just waiting for it to recapture 3. 3 is an important level, and it's hanging out right below it. We do have this bull flag that it's been trying to break out of. Thus far, not really that dominant, not really that successful. But let's see if it creates that base, can hold 3, and rip from there. MMAT and its TRCH options ending 121.22 short squeeze. There's DD on Reddit about it. So options ending. The options end. Well, no. Hang on. MMAT already absorbed TRCH. And right now, what I think you're referring to are probably the dividends on it. So they have those actually those weird symbols that represent the specialty dividend payouts. It's not the actual equity itself that will be ending because the one is already absorbed by the other. I haven't read the DD on it, but whenever it comes to dates like that, none of them have been right. We have been talking about this now for 12 months. And whenever I see anything on Reddit, Twitter, YouTube, MySpace, OnlyFans, any of those major social media platforms that relate to these equities, whenever people call out dates, I've never seen one be right. Ever. There's been previously people who are calling out quadruple wedging, and now it's going to be the day that GME squeezes again. Might it be right? I'm not telling you it's going to be wrong. Might it be right? Yeah, of course. That's an opportunity. It could be right. But what I see with this is when people are calling out dates, they're setting up expectations. And then time and time again, those expectations are not hit. And then people feel discouraged. And I've just never seen it. And inherently, even if it is right, the fact that people know those dates, then that means that they're changing the play already, and would then inherently change, it would change that DD. If everyone is let's say in a world that some date prediction is right, and then that date prediction is public and everyone's playing against it, that would inherently change the chess match, and it would alter the date. So I just don't see dates like that. In past 12 months, no one's ever gotten those right. And I don't know if this is going to be the particular one that is finally right. It might be. And if you're in it, I hope you crush it. I have nothing against those plays. With it, there's definitely some funky stuff going on with MMAT. I have nothing against it. I'm more so of talking about setting up expectations on a date. And I just don't think that that's right. Can you explain how naked shorts can cover? My smooth brain can't understand it. Does the flow increase? No. So naked shorts, if I were a hedge fund and I went to a prime broker and they let me go short without locating the shares, that is a naked short. You cover it the same way you cover a legitimate short. You buy the shares back, and it's basically bean counting for the prime broker. They just allowed you to go short without ever locating it. It wouldn't impact it. So basically, you're creating synthetic shares, and then when you buy it back, you're getting rid of those synthetic shares. So you go, let's say whatever your unit is, net -1, and then you end up buying back and you're back at 0. So it wouldn't impact the float. It does skew the supply demand, like I guess, graph, because at a certain point in time, you are bloating supply. You're fictitiously bloating supply. And if you have the exact same amount of demand, that is obviously problematic, but you would cover the short in the exact same way, and it's up to the prime broker to just do the appropriate amount of bean counting. Ding, ding, ding. The casino is open. Best of luck to all apes. All right. Let's get going. Someone asked about CFVI. How's Rumble doing? Shout out to the Rumble fam. We are live on Rumble. If you haven't already, check out Rumble. Mod, if one of you mods could drop the Rumble link in chat so people could do it. Folks, I'm not surprising anyone when I'm saying that big tech censorship is a very, very real thing. That is not new news. For me, for our community, for the Moon Gang community, which I would literally kill for, I have to think of various ways to protect us. I have already been inappropriately removed from YouTube on 3 separate occasions. For me to be able to battle those things, I have to think about this in other ways of how to protect us. In doing so, I'm not leaving YouTube, but I've chosen to multi-stream on various things just in case one goes down. I'm just not putting all my eggs in one basket. Hence why we are right now on Rumble. Check out Rumble. Their entire ethos is to battle YouTube and particularly not censor people. It's scary. The Nancy Tracker Twitter account, who is literally just reposting public information about Nancy Pelosi's trades, was taking down. The Maxwell trial, the lady who was associated with Epstein, the Twitter account that was tracking that trial was taken down. Both of these were taken down on Twitter. I post a video about it. Trey posts a video about it. Those do abnormally bad for our channels. Something crazy is going on in the background. I don't know what it is. Well, I know what it is. It's just censorship because certain people don't want certain things out there. So check out Rumble. And then with that being said, also special shout out to the Twitch fan, shout out to the Rumble fam, shout out to the Twitch fan. Those are the fail-safes right now. People who are biased and would rather be on Rumble, would rather be on Twitch. Hey, we're there every day, barring any crazy tech issues. But the reason why Rumble's doing abnormally well right now is because through a SPAC deal, it made a partnership with CF Acquisition Corp. And then one of these days, this will be trading under the Rumble ticker when the deal officially fully goes through. Just so everyone knows. So that's exciting stuff. CFVI is the SPAC deal for Rumble. And then obviously that's not going to be happening with Twitch because Twitch is owned by Amazon, which, as we all know, is already public. I actually think that Twitch would be better off if it were its own thing. I really do. Got a free $5 to send following you on Rumble too. Keep up the good work. Shout out, Michael. I appreciate that. Thoughts on Adam Aaron's NFT tweet this morning. Yeah, let's talk about that now as we're letting the market like kind of open up, and then we'll really start watching the charts about 15-20 minutes in. I really think it's beneficial to let it breathe. I don't like to create new positions right at market open, but I would love to actually go over 2 different tweets from Adam Aaron. So the first one he posted 3 hours ago. NFTs are a superb idea, but not a 1 per share security token NFT dividend as repeatedly described on Twitter. It is likely illegal, breaches our debt covenants, and or exposes AMC to huge litigation risk. We can't do it. Beware of concepts that sound easy and too good to be true. I have said this. I've publicly said this on these streams that when the concept of something, this NFT dividend, when it's completely wrapped in this idea of we're doing this to squeeze the shorts, that is illegal. You as as the public. You can't collude on that type of stuff as the leadership team for AMC. You can't do something because someone's like, if you do this, we're going to squeeze the shorts. So please do it. Please do it. Please do it. And then they do it. That's like the SEC, the FTC, all the regulators, Congress, they would come down so incredibly hard on the company for doing something like that. As a leadership team, you can do what you think's good for your company, as in you want to open another movie theater chain, you want to partner with sports betting, you want to partner with this person, you want to do your own NFT just because you own it. But to do something that the entire narrative around it is to squeeze shorts, that's illegal. He's saying that exposes AMC to a huge litigation risk. You do not want to be owning a company that actively is going into huge litigation risk. Whenever you see Tesla talking about SEC, whenever you see these crypto mining companies, whenever you see Lucid, whenever they say the SEC is looking into us, the stock drops. We do not want huge litigation risk. This is smart. It makes me feel a little bit more comfortable that they're like, hang on, this could be super risky for all the shareholders. Now, I do find it particularly upsetting that the narrative was pushed that way, that we want an NFT dividend to squeeze the shorts. You can't do that type of stuff. If the narrative was we want an NFT to know the true share count, that would be a completely different story. But it was one of these things where the Twitter mob took a hold of something and they just ran way too far with the wrong narrative. And now, yes, I would love to know the true share count. I would love it. I would love it. And that is part of the argument. But the thing that really got Twitter's attention, Reddit's attention, that got media's attention was you're doing this to squeeze shorts. That's what was said on Fox News. The narrative unfortunately took a turn where this option is now, in my opinion, taken away from Adam Aron. I would love to know the true share count. That would put a lot of, those answers would put a lot of questions to bed. That's what I want. But the narrative, as many things do on social media, took a wrong twist, and now they are worried about huge litigation risk if they go that way. But the other one that I want to talk about is, this is the most astonishing thing. I never would have imagined or predicted it. Per Market Watch yesterday, AMC stock had the 7th highest number of Google searches in US in 2021. Clearly, interest in AMC theaters has been incredibly high. So overall, this interest is awesome. Awesome. So just wanted to bring those two things to your attention, share my thoughts on all of it. And here are some of the charts. So AMC all shot all the way up to 32.56. Solid. GME got up to 173. Right now, 167 is support. Let's see if that can hold. CFVI selling off a little bit. What else is moving today? We have Lucid that was down, a gap down 5, but it's trying to fight back. Tesla gap down and also selling off a little bit. It's only down 1.42%. Rivian at that 120 level. If Rivian gets that break of 126, you might see some fireworks there. Apple. We need to talk about Apple. So over the past couple days, which is important because we're talking about December 7th, December 8th, for December 10th and December 17th, the most popular option contracts were Apple 170s and 175 calls. I don't know if people knew something that we shouldn't know. I don't know if people were just all playing momentum and it became a self-fulfilling prophecy, but the amount of money bet on Apple doing particularly well this week and next week in the options market was extraordinarily high, and they were right, and they made millions, if not billions, probably billions of dollars off of these bets. This is public information. It's easy to track the options market. I've been very public about it. I'm invested in Apple in my long-term account. I have played no options on it recently. Do I wish I did? Of course I did, because it's doing super well. Apple is now wait, hang on. How much is Apple worth? $2.9 trillion company. We are knocking on the door of $3 trillion. I don't think that this is stopping. The amount of money, maybe people know something. Maybe it's all just a momentum that's quickly becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't know what it is, but they are destroying it on Apple. AMC's looking good. Not sure if you've seen the article on Yahoo. Cardano launches converter testnet for project by AI. Whoa. Is there any enthusiasm? Cardano launches converter testnet for project AI pioneer behind robot Sophia. All right, sweet. I had this article up. I'm going to dive into it. It's not that long of a read. ADA no longer available on eToro. ADA, the native coin of Cardano ecosystem, is no longer available on brokerage platform eToro. Last month, eToro said it is delisting ADA due to U.S. regulatory concerns. The news saw ADA recover massive losses, and the coin lost a third place in the market and is now the sixth largest cryptocurrency by market cap. The development team behind Cardano announced that AGIX ERC20 converter testnet is now live. The converter will make it easy for developers to migrate the ERC20 tokens on the Ethereum blockchain to the Cardano network. Interesting. So some development there. Is Cardano getting a nice push off of this? Not really. Still hanging out at 130. I'm still in Cardano. I'm still hodling Cardano. I like the team. I like what they're doing. It's just taking, I guess, longer than expected to come to fruition. Good thoughts on true share count. What are your thoughts on GME specifically quoting in 10K 5.2 million DRS as of 10/31? Seems like a call out to truly count the shares. Thank you. Yes. So with that, now I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, GME currently has an outstanding share count of, I think it should be 76 million shares. How do I go back on this one? Hang on. Nope. Let me just search GME. I could get the information for you. It should be outstanding shares of 76 million. Yeah, 75.59. So I just round up to 76. So once again, that's for GME. So I like this. Quoting in 10K 5.2 million. That means we have quite a bit to go. Is it possible? For sure. So I think it is interesting that they called that out. And with DRS, there are pros, there are cons. I implore everyone to look into it very quickly. The pros are the fact that you're not lending it out. It seems that when more and more people do it, it does actively cut down on FTDs. Those are good things. The cons are it makes you a little bit more immobile. And obviously in the high volatility environments of a MOAS, maybe that's something that you value. But that's to everyone to decide themselves. All I'm saying is look it up. Do some research. It has pros and cons like many things in this world. It's not all pros. It's not all cons. You just have to weigh out what's important to you. Now, what's interesting is the fact that one of the cons that's worthwhile to consider is even if everyone DRSs, it's then up to the leadership team to decide if they want to share that information. But the fact that they're calling it out tells me that if we get to those numbers, they are going to. It's kind of, maybe I'm reading a little bit too much into it. Maybe my tinfoil hat's a little bit too tight. But the fact that they're calling that out lets me know that they're going, like, that if we get to the numbers and if there's something to share, that the leadership team at GameStop will share it. So I think that actually kind of takes one of the cons away, which I like. BBIG thoughts. BBIG, it's fighting back. I mean, this thing got completely ravaged. You're buying it off of it being oversold, so the risk is relatively less. You could risk this 240 level, so you're risking 60 cents. It's looking for this breakout at $3. Maybe you'll get a gap fill up to 377, and then from there, hopefully you have more momentum. So overall in a play, I think the risk reward is there. I mean, it's not the nicest. You're trying to get 80 cents, risking 60 cents. So it's not 2-to-1, but it's at least better than 1-to-1. Now, in terms of Ortex, let me pull that up for you on BBIG. I have to admit, when people are just saying, like, hey, give me those Ortex values, it tells me that a lot of you are thinking of, like, I want to chase short squeezes. That in my opinion, is not a good methodology. Just because something has a high short interest, and BBIG does, it has a short interest of 22.2%. That's a high short interest. Just because you have a high short interest doesn't mean it's going to squeeze. It's a prerequisite. You have to have a high short interest for there to be a short squeeze. But because it has one, you can't assume it has to squeeze. So I just want to be very, very clear about that. You need, among other things, good positive price action. You need to have things like a gap fill up to 377 to put pressure on shorts. That was over a month ago. DRS members estimated currently at 10 to 15 million today based on the report from DRS Bot. So yes, that was from October. That was from Halloween. You had that in your first one. So it's growing, and that's what I'm saying. It's like the trend of the numbers is good. It just needs to slowly but surely go higher and higher and higher. The higher it goes, the more statistically relevant any commentary related to it is then. So we'll see. We'll see. Is it too late to get into Apple? I mean, it's literally at an all-time high. I don't like buying at an all-time high. If you're trying to get into it for a quick day trade or swing trade, well, yeah, you could potentially play a breakout, but you're also playing a little bit with fire then. Would I do a long-term investment in Apple right now? No, I wouldn't, because I'm not going to invest at an all-time high. Would I be considering maybe a quick day trade or swing trade, risking 176 for a quick percentage pop? Yeah, no, I think that's like a valid play. Like, I know many people listening, some people are long-term, some people are medium-term, some are short, and some are highly active day traders. So Apple right now, to me, is a realistic play for people who have a shorter time frame. Do you have a non-financial advice 10% play of the day? Yeah, well, let's see how things are panning out. I'd like to wait probably about 15 more minutes, because that's when we're going to get more data from the options market, and we are going to be able to look into unusual whales and Tiblio. So past 10 a.m. when we can see things trending. But I'm still actively in NVIDIA. So in terms of these plays that I've just been like, hey, this is what I'm about to get into. Here's my reasoning. Here's where I'm going to get out. We're like, during the live stream, I'm being as apparent, like as transparent as like literally possible. The first NVIDIA play was a 14% gainer. You could have locked it in wherever you wanted. It ended up doing even better, but we called that out, and then we redid NVIDIA. Right now we're down on the trade, but this is the live trade right now on NVIDIA. And the fact here, I could give you all the details of it. I have no issue giving you a quick update. I actually love giving you updates, because I think more people need to be transparent about what the hell is or isn't going on. So, NVIDIA, NVDA, calls for December 17th strike price of $330. I got in at $7.11. It's currently trading at $5.75, which means I'm down $1.30. When I first got into this, that very first day, it was close to being able to lock it in, but the market closed. Like, it was 2 days ago that NVIDIA had the push right at the end of the day. I'm at the point now that for me to get what I'm looking for, it probably needs to get up to about 326, which means it needs to break out of resistance at 324. And because I knew we could get in this situation, that's exactly why I didn't buy them for this Friday. The 10th, tomorrow, that expiration date, it's playing with fire. It's too close of an expiration for this type of a play. The only time I'll really play weeklies is if I already know I'm going to day trade him. If my trading plan is, hey, I'm getting in and I'm getting out, hopefully in 15 to 20 minutes, something like that, yeah, maybe I'll play the weeklies then. But beyond that, you got to give yourself time. A lot of people, they just, when it comes to options, they're focused on the price of the asset of like, okay, well, that's only $10 off. That's not far. That's 1/3%. Like, that's not like bad. Or sorry, that is not the right math at all. $10, what would that be? No, that's 1/3%. No, it isn't. That's 3%. My bad. That's poor math. So about $30 would be 10%, and then we're looking for that movement. They focus on the price. And when it comes to options, yes, price is clearly important, but you have to consider time until expiration and also volatility. So for example, this is good volatility. And then even when you hit this price again, let's just say 322 versus 322, this second 322 is less valuable to you as an options trader. Even though it's the same price, more time has passed. And since that first move, the volatility was relatively less. So you have to consider the fact that prices for equities in the options market are not all built the same. 320 now is worth more than 320 in 5 minutes. It's important for everyone to get that. Did I see this correctly? Did SPAC DRC complete its merger with SLDP? Hang on, let me check that out for you. I haven't been tracking that particular one. DCRC. Does not look like it. If it completes it, usually there's like or unless, hang on, SLDP, is this actively trading? Complete its merger. I guess, Roy, I don't know which way the merger was going. Complete its merger. If it's going into SLDP, this one's being more actively traded. Plus, okay, so SLDP is this is the blank check. This is the SPAC, SLDP. And it sounds like DCRC is where it's going to go. But it's currently trading still under SLDP. So I guess it's how you're defining complete. But usually when I think of complete, I'm thinking of when Churchill Capital CCIV went over to Lucid LCID, the deal was done, the ticker changed, and right now it's still trading under the SPAC's ticker and not, I guess, DRCR, which might be the next one for it. BBIG has a nice gamma ramp going on into December 17th and January catalyst coming at some point when record date announced. Also more gap ups in my opinion. How's BBIG? BBIG, I mean, it might have all those things, but still inherently you need the price action. It needs to hold above 3, a key breakout level. And then also I would love to see that gap fill up to 77. Some people getting excited about DocuSign. What do we have going on with DocuSign? DocuSign, it got this nice breakout at 155, and now, yeah, people, I'm excited. I have a smile on my face. The amount of people in chat who are calling out the gap fill opportunity, that's awesome. So it's at 160 right now. My personal first target would be 180. This previous level, maybe a little bit higher than 180. Some between 180 and 185 would be my first target if you don't want to play the full gap fill on Docu. But please, I need to caution you with DocuSign. The reason this fell off, yes, it beat on earnings, it beat on revenue, but it severely lowered its future guidance. It said, hey, we don't think the next quarter, potentially the next year, is going to be so bueno. So people, please understand why it gapped down. Can you look at Ortex on DWAC? DWAC, I don't even think has loaded in Ortex numbers. But I can double check that for you really quick. I just wanted to bring up the chart, see what was going on. DWAC. DWAC is not a fundamental play. I don't even know if it's really a short squeeze play. The estimated short interest on DWAC, I'm surprised it already has it, is 11%, 10.7%. DWAC to me is much more of a momentum play of how enthusiastic is the supporter pace going to be. It might be absurdly enthusiastic, and this thing can clearly run. We've seen it run in the past. There are some recent updates to it that got people pretty excited. this thing can move. I just don't think it's necessarily a short squeeze play. Some shorts could get squeezed out. There's not a number of like at this short interest, then it's a short squeeze play. That's not quite how it works. It's more of whatever the shorts are, well, are those people going to get squeezed out? And the more people getting squeezed out, the higher it goes. So it's not binary of a squeeze play versus not a squeeze play. It's a gradient of, if these shorts are squeezed out, like where do we think the price could go based on this many shorts covering type of a deal. Just so everyone's like, my point is 11%, you're looking at about an estimation of 3.2 million shares. It's already traded 2.6 million today. Would 3.2 million covering represent a solid amount of buying? Yeah, of course. Like, and you would see some nice action to it. Is 3 million covering going to be the thing that brings it up to 176 again? No, that's going to be people who are buying out of excitement rather than shorts covering out of fear, just based on the current numbers. Shout out Wall Street Viking. Shout out Lover of Ducks and Apes. Roy, Super, Cassie, Wall Street, K. Gordon. All right, we did BBIG. All right, how is GME doing right now? 160. Yeah, this is getting hit. So we do have some support at 160. 160. We're actually seeing, wait, what's the overall market doing right now? SPY. The SPY is getting hit. The Qs are getting hit. IWM kind of getting hit. How's the Dow? What's it? DJI. Yeah. Nope. What's the Dow's ticker? I so rarely Dow ETF. I thought it was DJI. DIA. Why did I think it was DJI? DIA. So right here, the Dow. So right here, top left, Dow is 30 of the biggest companies in the U.S. This clearly flat on the day. The S&P 500 is 500 of the biggest companies in the U.S. Shot up, sideways, now selling off. The Russell 2000 in the bottom left is 2,000 small cap stocks. So the top 3,000 stocks are the Russell 3000. The bottom 2,000 of that said 3,000, the bottom 2,000, not including that top 1,000, is the Russell 2000. Then you have the NASDAQ 100, which is essentially a subset of the SPY. This is top 100 of the top companies, but not the top 100. It's 100 massive companies, but more of a tech focus. About 50% of the equities within the Qs are very much tech-centric companies, about 50 of the 100, just so we're all on board. Beyond that, you have many other indices. You can have the S&P, the mid-cap 400. So after the 500, you have the next 400 mid-cap. That's actually where GME is. GME used to be in the Russell 2000. That's where AMC lives right now. And then it was actually upgraded to the S&P 500 mid-cap, which I think is what? MYD? Hang on, let me look that one up for you. This one's like a rarely checked one. S&P 400 mid-cap. Which one is this one? MDY. So this is the mid cap. This is where GME, I believe, lives right now. So there's a couple things that are all tracking. Actually, there's far more than this. You can find many. You have different money managers that are going to have. So this is all by the S&P, but also Vanguard has their version of all of these. There's so many out there. There's so many out there that are all worthwhile to kind of dive into and understand like what is or isn't going on. All right. Is NVIDIA still vomiting? Yes. How's Apple holding up? Apple holding up surprisingly well, given the fact that the Qs are selling off. So the Qs come down right here. The Qs are coming down, which Apple is clearly going to be the biggest holding within the Qs, but Apple does not care. Apple just holding. You almost wonder how high Apple would be right now if the Qs didn't just vomit. All right, what else do we have going on? ISPC is ripping. ISPC. It is not ripping. Wait, what? No, it is not. LGVM. So this is a play that shot up, got a lot of excitement, made a nice base at 1750. If this thing starts pushing 25, you might have another solid move on LGVM. The reason it really started exploding on the 18th was FDA approval for a drug that relates to infants. Not the most absurdly popular one, as in not heavily used, but hey, FDA approval's FDA approval. Went up, pure excitement, then things calmed down. We're getting a little bit to kind of reality, normality, and now we're seeing what's going to happen at 25. All right, where are we at? AMC fighting back. GME 164 bouncing off of. Let me know if GME gets back above 167. We want it to recapture that without a doubt. All right, whoa, AMC. Nice. IWM. We have the Russell popping right there. We have actually GME now waking up. So we have the Qs and the Russell catching a nice bid. And the SPY as well. Okay, so 3 of the indices are starting to kind of go right here. Let's see. Let's see if we're going to make AMC. Hopefully we get that run to 35. That coveted run to 35. How about Prague? All right, Prague 275. Also starting to wake up a little bit. We'll throw up NVIDIA right there. 317. Yeah. Okay. NVIDIA needs to do better. We need this at 320. I'm going to... What's... Hood. Tesla. Let's throw up the SPY there. NVIDIA is bumming me out until it gains $3 more. Whoa. But even... Hang on. Let me do... Let's put the SPY over here. In the bottom left, let's put GameStop here, quickly recapturing 167, and we'll put Prague in the bottom right. Look at that movement. Look at that movement on AMC. All right, AMC moving. Disney's been having a solid push lately. Oh, Disney's having a really good push. I mean, Disney right now, geez. Especially, I think Disney 156s for next week, and you just lock in at a quick whatever, 5, 8, 10, 15%, whatever you're comfortable with. You're kind of risking 152. So the risk is 152, the reward is 156. So if you want to play the stock straight up, you can do that. But Disney, a nice recovery. Or if you want to be a little bit more longer term, you could just risk 142. Depending on what your time frame is there. SPY looking good. All right, AMC's getting going. Let's get a rocket going for AMC. There we go. All right, hang on. Let me go back to the 1 minute. Disney. Whoa, AMC really catching a bid. All the way up to 33. Hey, let's get some excitement. Hey, if you guys could all please help me out. If you can, I mean, there's 7,500 of you in here. If even half of you could annihilate that like button, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Costs nothing. You just click it, destroy it. That would help me out. It just helps get this promoted to other people to know that AMC is still alive and well. What's going on over here on Twitch? Shout out Clubfoot Billy, Lipster. Shout out to all the new follows. I appreciate you. Who do we have? Kenna Mao. Followed a minute ago. Shout out. What's going on in Rumble? I appreciate all the Royal Rumbles you guys got rocking. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. People are getting excited. How's Franklin? I saw Franklin about 2 weeks ago, and he's loving life. Thoughts on ATER? We talked about ATR a little bit yesterday. It's holding. It kind of is like BBIG, where it got super hit, and now people are just buying it off these low levels. You clearly need a break of $5.88, $6. That's the next resistance. I do like how the CEO, wow, the Disney play potentially already paying off. Jeez. I don't have any Disney right now, just so everyone knows. I do like how the Ethereum CEO is like just on Twitter, like blatantly calling out the naked shorts and illegitimate shares. Can I put DWAC up? Yeah, I mean, was it really moving much today? If you're in DWAC right now, I have no DWAC position, but yeah, as long as it keeps moving, let's keep it up. Check AVAV, please. Thanks. AVAV. Looks like it got demolished on its earnings, and now it's kind of bouncing back. In aerospace defense, so if you're in it just for a quick reversion play, I mean, if it gets cooking above 64, you might be able to play it, but I mean, it dropped because of its earnings. Like, these earnings had to be very, very bad for it to go from 80 all the way down to 50. So that's why it's down. And if you're just trying to play a quick reversion play to like maybe make some money, but you might want to dive into like what actually happened in its earnings. But I do think people are buying it up above. If it can push 64, maybe you can get a push. Let me see where it kind of did some consolidation. Oh man, this was brutal. Just sold. That's kind of a tough one in terms of like where I would want to lock it in, because like this was just pure fear. But if it goes above 64, that's a bit more momentum. What's going on with XRP going up and XLM down? I'm not too familiar of their most recent movements, Eric. XRP, I like kind of lightly just check on it to see what's going on with the lawsuit and to see how that's gonna maybe go or not go, because obviously that has a considerable impact on all of crypto. But in terms of the most recent movements, people are probably just excited about Ripple right now. Can you check CRTX and Ortex for them? What are your thoughts? UK Ape CRTX. Is this another one that people are looking for some sort of? I mean, no, another one that I guess it looks like someone knew about their earnings beforehand, and since then it's done nothing. Like, the stock is not really moving. It's just flat. It's sideways. It's maybe if it gets above 18, you might get some momentum to break out at 20. But this just missed on earnings, and honestly, from the chart, it looks like people knew it 2 days beforehand, or maybe TradingView is just mislabeling when it had its earnings. But something bad happened with its earnings, and it sold off from 50 all the way down to 13. I could check Ortex, but I don't think it's not a play I would take. What's its short interest? I'm loading up its short interest. It is 42%, so a very high short interest. On the smaller side, 7.56 million estimated utilization, 96%. Kind of interesting. I'd have to dive into it, but it seems like people got into it because it just got crushed on its earnings. Not every short is a malicious short. Sometimes shorts are good plays. I don't know if I've said this in a while, but I am not blatantly against shorting. I think shorting is a good market tool that it has its time and place. I just don't want it to see it being abused. I am not blatantly against shorting. Certain companies, Nikola, Luckin Coffee, Robinhood, in my opinion, they either deserve to be shorted or they deserve to be shorted right now. I don't think all shorts are bad. I think abusive shorting is bad. I think predatory shorting is bad. But for that one, maybe it deserves to have that short interest. Can you check the Ortex on LGVN? Showed some strength today, and it's on the threshold list. LGVN. Let me pull that up for you very quickly. LGVN has a short interest of... Holy shit. Folks, LGVN can get cooking. Holy crap. All right, you need to see this. So this is the LGVN chart. If this goes above 25 and closes above 25, the shorts are going to get blown up. Short interest of 87%, a cost to borrow of 300%, a utilization of 99.98%, and it's a low float, 2 mil shares. This thing, and it's on the threshold list. What's it on? It's on the NASDAQ. Let me search this. NASDAQ. Threshold list, LGVN, and it's on the threshold list, which means that there's a lot of FTDs. Hang on, let me look into this a little bit more. So whatever is going on, it has more FTDs lately because the FTD report, the last report is from November 12th. Obviously, it's December 9th. But the fact that it's actively on the list tells us that at least within the past 5 days, it has a considerable amount of FTDs. So something wonky is going on. Man, LGVN. If the final missing piece to this puzzle, I'm not saying it's perfect right now. If this goes above 25, 26, that 25 to 26 region of resistance, the shorts could get utterly screwed on this play. This is your region of resistance. It's honestly this simple. If it gets above that, let me switch up the color. This is your region of resistance. How do I switch it all to red? Visibility, text, coordinates, style. Nope, didn't want that. Right there. Okay. If it gets above this region, red for resistance, if it goes above that, if it closes above it, especially on abnormal volume, right now it trades about 11 million shares a day. If you see one of these scenarios where it closes above 25, 26 on like 20 million, 25 million, man, this thing could go absolutely haywire just on all the data. The shorts are paying so much money. The utilization's capped out. The short interest is sky high. The final missing piece to the LGVN puzzle is price action. I have no LGVN position. Maybe if I see that price action, I will maybe get involved. A big maybe, because I need to see that price action. But if it the low floats can go haywire. Let me throw this on up by hood. 25, 26 LGVN becomes very, very interesting. Can I discuss NVIDIA exit plan to include Theta? So right now, to include Theta, that's exactly why I bought next week's. My risk point is probably around 305 if that were to happen. So more likely, when it comes to NVIDIA right now, it's almost two different exits. One is related to theta, one is related to risk. If it were to drop to 305 right now, I would cut it on price. If we get to about Tuesday of next week and I'm not happy with the price, I would then cut it because of theta, is how I would be looking at it. So two different things there, one time related and then one price action related. Unfortunately, the past today and definitely yesterday are what is probably best referred to as a premium burn day, as in it's just not really doing anything. So when you don't do anything, the price isn't going anywhere, but theta is eating you alive. These types of plays, that's going to happen. And that's why you need to, I guess, do your best to be diversified. Obviously, as the days go on, I become less confident in it. But in it right now, I still have the position. I haven't cut it because, the overall market, I still like what's going on. And honestly, with NVIDIA, it's nothing for NVIDIA to get like a 5% gain, which would be what, $15. We've seen NVIDIA do that. By the way, Disney's looking pretty solid. Let's see Disney push 153. DWAC kind of giving up some of its gains. How's Prague doing? Prague still hanging out just below 3. Prague, patience. I'm just waiting for that to actually go back above 3. What else do we have? I wanted to, wait, Memphis closed down, but 2 AMCs in Memphis closed, but no news. Okay. I wanted to ask all of you, whether it's a crypto coin, token, project, liquidity pool, farming, what do you think is the best opportunity in crypto right now, this month, this quarter, this year? What is particularly exciting you about crypto? Because I want to take some of them down and I want to be the guinea pig. If you think it's the best, I'm going to put my money on the line and we're going to talk about it. I'm going to do it. I'll do it exactly how anyone tells me to do it, whether it's an investment, a liquidity pool, a DAO, whatever it is. I'll have to end up coming. Let me write down this time, 10:16. I might have to come back to this to read chat because there's so many. So a lot of these look like straight up investments. People are saying, hey, someone said some mining, some farming, some yield farming. I can make a video on yield farming. I've been learning more about that. Jade Protocol, Time Wonderland, Metaverse Pro, Sand. A lot more people are talking about Sand. And now this Jade Protocol, which is like a DAO thing, a Jade Protocol. My mom doesn't know anything about crypto, folks. I want that to be clear. She doesn't know. Do not take crypto advice from my mother. Loopring. I'm in Loopring already. Loopring, I like it. Not a crazy amount to dive into it, though. It's just a good crypto for DeFi, for marketplaces. A gaming crypto, XRP. A month or two ago, so like the way there's like clearly a huge like community support for AMC, GME, and yes, there's some overlap there. I was astounded to find out that a month or two ago, there's that same community, but for Ripple. Which is always cool to see, like, and it kind of shows you that sometimes you get into your own world and you're like, no, there's no other community like this. Like, you're in your community, you're in your own echo chamber. And then I like somehow stumbled into that same community, but for Ripple, like just kind of reading about it and like their Reddit and their Twitter and their YouTube pages. There is a huge Ripple community out there. There's a huge Ripple army. The Ripple Ravengers, let's call them. I actually don't even know if they have a name. Maybe they do have a name, and now I'm like offending you. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend you. I don't need that community hating me. But if you don't have a name, feel free to use the name the Ripple Ravengers, because I think that's pretty sick. The XRP army, like, there's no alliteration there. There's already the Doge army and the SHIB army. Like, let's let's be more creative with our naming. You guys need better brand development. The XRP Army, there's no alliteration. I'm telling you, whoever the higher ups are in that world, float the idea. Become the Ripple Ravagers. That's cool. It sounds futuristic. It sounds like that Tom Hardy movie when he was living in the future in the world, like the Ravagers, the Ripplers, the Ripple Rangers, the Ripple Walker, Texas Rangers. That's an even better idea. The Ripple Walker, Texas Rangers. If you end up using that one, I want some of the royalties. I want like 1% royalties on the Ripple Walker, Texas Rangers. Satima, do you mean to offend the Ripple Ravagers? Also meant XRP Army? That's not good. You can do better. You're right with that one, Kuri. I don't mean to offend you, but your name is awful. Free the Ripple. Oh, man. Yeah, so whoever the high council is in the world of Ripple, someone run that up the chain for me. I would be much obliged, much appreciative if you could run that up. Don't forget your green tea today, folks. Oh, quick question. So yesterday, when I was close, how many of you like FTX? I don't have an account, and people were telling me, some people said they really liked it. People were like, I guess they like it because you get quite a bit of leverage. What's everyone's thoughts on FTX? Should I make an account? Not make? Twist my ripples. Oh, man. Oh. So someone said FTX is the best. Yup, it's good. Oh, okay. So people are a fan of it. They have a lot going on. All right, I'm going to make an account, and we'll see how that goes. Ripple. Twist my ripples. Our maturity. Non-existent, and I love it. My ripples are jacked. We do have a definitive name already. We are called the Razzle Dazzle Ripple Rascals. The Razzle Dazzle Ripple Rascals. The Ripple Nipple. Look at Veritism. Very crypto. It started to rip last week. Very. Writing this down. So far, out of all the suggestions, the new ones to me that I haven't heard of before, well, I saw a lot of people talking about Sand recently, so I'll look into that. I'll look into Very, and I'll also look into Jade Protocol. Jade Protocol, though, it has a kind of a vibe of like, just like, I don't know. When you have these APYs that are ungodly, like, are they really going to be, are they really real? Are they really real? Or are they just kind of like, hey, give us money, and then one of the days, like, the dev's gonna run off with it type of a deal? All right. For those of you who have done these crypto protocols before, Olympus DAO, what is it? Galaxy, Wonderland Time, Hector, Jade. For those of you who have done it, how many of you have actually made money, and then how many of you have actually lost money? Made money, lost money. Because there's no way things are this good. Like, there's a catch. There has to be a catch. And I don't like when I don't know the catch, is my problem. When I'm sitting there and I'm like, something about this sounds a little bit fishy. I want to know the catch. What's the catch? Or if someone just knows the catch, tell me the catch. You could just put it in a comment. Someone made 6,000 off Doge. That's awesome. You have to pay a lot of fees. Well, that's true with Olympus but that's an Ethereum thing. The Avalanche network-based ones are way cheaper. Fees are the catch. Unless, is there another fee? Maybe I'm just like speaking about something I totally don't know about. Made a good amount. Jade's sketchy, in my opinion. I'll send you some stuff. So someone said, made 14K off of DWAC. That's awesome. Your money can just disappear fast. It also does that when I do like Tesla options. So there's not much of a difference there. I mean, a lot of people making money off of Doge. That's awesome. That's cool. And I congratulate you. What else do we have? Too many fees. It's like climbing uphill. So I think you're still referring though, and please correct me if I'm like misstating your issues, your qualms, but it sounds like that is particular to Ethereum ones, because just Ethereum gas fees are ungodly. All right, what else? All right, NVIDIA is upsetting me. Freaking NVIDIA. Freaking NVIDIA. All right. Now we have to bring out the big technical analysis. Hang on, how do I even do this? What is this? Here we go. Here we go. All right, we have that up. Hang on, let me double check. How is the SPY looking today? A little bit red. How are the Qs looking today? A little bit red. How is the Russell looking today? A little bit red. All right, we're bringing out the big guns. So before, when people are asking for my exit strategy, we're going to be doing this. Heads, I keep it and I hold it. Tails, I cut it, and then I try to revenge trade and make the money back ASAP. Heads, I keep it. Tails, I revenge trade and see what I could do. I guess I'm keeping it. All right. The market has spoken, folks. It was 50-50 shot. I almost was able to cut it and revenge trade, but it told me. It said, hey, you gotta, this is how it goes. Snowman raid? Am I being raided by snowman? Who are snow? Uh-oh, there's snowmen in chat. It must be Christmas. Who are all these snowmen coming from? I need someone from the Snowman Council to kind of like speak up here and tell me what's happening. Oh, it's STV. Okay, so Short the Vix is doing snowman. I like that. I didn't know that he had a snowman emoji thing going on. I like it. Look at all the snowman popping up. You know, that's one of the things that YouTube overlords, if you're listening to me, if you're doing natural language processing on my commentary, I want to publicly state that the way Twitch can do raids or gifting membership or any of that, implement that on YouTube streams. That is really, really cool. Definitely. And also, if you're a YouTube premium member, you should also get one free membership a month. Similar. Like, there's so many good things that I guess occur on Twitch that in terms of live streaming, I think would really help with YouTube, but they just don't do it, I guess. I guess they just don't want to, but I mean, rating would be awesome. I don't know if any YouTuber has gone over it. The AMC NFT will be released on Wax Worldwide Asset Exchange. That was mentioned by Adam Aaron on Twitter, WaxP on crypto.com. Zachary, that's a good call out. But yeah, so when that was first announced, that the like I own AMC thing, that official like statement, and you could see it on AMC's investors page, but also on Business Wire. Yeah, they did call out WaxP, and I know I covered it. I believe Trey also covered it, that like the connection to Wax, which is cool. Definitely cool. Was heads to keep your NVIDIA December 17th 325 options? Yes, it was. And thus far, I'm starting to think that maybe the odds of that coin were not the best odds. Lucid, someone said Lucid is getting destroyed. Folks, it's just thus far, as of 10:30, we're an hour into the market today. A little bit bearish. AMC is actually holding up pretty well relative to everything else. The Qs got hit, but the quarter told me to hold. IWM, hopefully making this base at 223. How's the SPY? Tesla coming down as well. Tesla coming down. Interesting. I just had an idea. An interesting idea. Let me flesh this out for all of you. Okay, so in the afternoon streams, we've been doing the technical teaching. We've gone over Alligator, MACD, RSI, Stochastics, Bollinger, VWAP, all of these different technicals. And I like it, and that's continuing. But now I'm sitting here thinking about, well, how can we bring it to the next level? And now, I don't know why this idea just hit me, but what if, how would this work? Okay, so in the afternoon stream, I teach it. And then maybe the next morning stream, I use it. So like whatever it is, like, and we could use it on like, or maybe a couple days. But like if I teach it the very next day, like I could show you, we could look around the market and see if there's like actual opportunity to use that to trade. So for example, I don't know, here, stochastics. That was yesterday, stochastics. Nope. Wait, was stochastics yesterday or which one did we do yesterday? So anyway, stochastics, that's more of range bound. We want something that's range bound to use stochastics, so we'd have to find it. But just in general, or maybe if we popped around and used various indicators. What do I want to show you right now? Bollinger. I want to go back to the Bollinger. So right here, Bollinger is telling us that the SPY right now is oversold. It's beyond. It is outside of its 2 standard deviation move. A 2 standard deviation price action move should cover about 95% of price action. So when you're outside of that, that's obviously statistically abnormal, which is saying that this close, if you're on Bollinger, that is actually a buy, and then the exit is whenever you hit this midline. We can see if this plays out in real time. I'm not saying to take the trade. I did not take the trade. I'm just saying that it might be useful not only to teach the theory of it, but to see how it plays out in real time. Because I think one of the biggest problems with technicals is you put it up on your screen and you look historically, and then you look for times that it works. Like that's such a human thing to do, is to sit there and say, okay, it would have worked here, it would have worked here, because you want it to work. You want to come up with a methodology that makes you money. But sometimes in real time, when you're sitting there doing your thing, it's a little bit different. So for example, I think that's actually a really good teaching lesson. Right here, this technically would have been a buy. Between these two bars, you would have somehow gone long. Whether you got, I don't know, you could have bought stock, or you could have bought SPY, you could have bought ETF, you could have bought calls, you could have sold puts, you could have got a call debit spread, you could have got a put debit or put credit spread, a call debit spread. There's obviously various ways to do it, but I'm telling you, this is the signal to somehow get long exposure. And you can play it however you want, and there's different methodologies, obviously, but I'm curious to see how this plays out. You would have gone long right here, and let's just see. Let's see. You would have gone long. Let's call it at 467.50. And let's mark this out. 467.50. Roughly 467.50. That's your long signal. And let's see if you would have made profit by the time it actually crosses this, whatever this middle line is. Let's do a small account to get over PDT together. What do you think? Thanks for everything. I think that would be cool. Like a fun little challenge to do like a public portfolio to see if you could take like a $1 or $3 or $5,000 account to get it above PDT. Cappuccino Man, I'm wearing my Moon Gang shirt and AMC isn't rocketing. What gives, man? Should I try wearing it inside out? Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, try it inside out. Try it backwards. Try wearing your shirt on your pants and your pants as on your torso. Try wearing your shirt on your head. There's various variations you could try because remember, it's a dynamic market and you have to do dynamic things to fight the market. Dumb question, but with the AMC NFT, do I need to get an NFT or crypto wallet to save it? I still learning about NFT space. So yeah, you would have to have like a crypto wallet is where you could store some of your NFTs. So that's where this NFT would end up living. What is a debit and credit spread? Fortunately for you, I have those videos explaining it. Check out Kohrs Lite. It's in the description of the video. But a lot of these things we could do. Jeff is shouting on balance volume, OBV. Is that the one you want me to teach today? We could do an OBV this afternoon to teach what like on balance volume is. The Jealousy Game Rock is saying log into Wax. They have their own wallet. Oh, also it was announced this morning that Coinbase is going to be compatible with hardware wallets, and they're starting off with Ledger. Afternoon stream is not long enough. Duck emojis if you agree. Hashtag Moon Gang. I guess, yeah. Is Voyager a wallet? Voyager acts as a wallet for certain cryptos, but not for other cryptos. So you have to check specifically on the crypto. For most of the major ones, it acts as a wallet, which is kind of what you want. What is the debit and credit spread? Check out Kohrs Lite. Those videos are there. Also, we go over like covered calls. Eventually, when we get through all of the main cryptos, we could start doing some options trading. Like I just like building out those teaching sessions. So basically every power hour stream, we're going to have like one quick teaching lesson. Whether it's a technical, whether it's a crypto, whether it's what in the hell is payment for order flow, all of those things, it's in that quick hour. I don't know. It's kind of like a lecture with Professor Kohrs. Man, things are red today. The Qs are down. IWM is down. When's the bounce coming? I signed up for the bounce. Where is it? How's Apple even? Apple, look at all the red. You have LGVN that's green. The only thing green on my entire list. Look at the sea of red. If I didn't add LGVN today, everything would just be, geez, everything would be just red. Red, 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 red. Things are getting smoked today. Nvidia broke that support from yesterday. All right, how are we doing this? Hang on, let me see. Let's not be silly. Let's not be silly. A 305 put. No, that's too far out. Amara call for December 23rd. A docu put. Someone is saying a docu put. No, that opportunity is already missed. A docu put. Interesting. Interesting. Seeing where the opportunity lies. Tiblio. Yeah, so I was just checking out unusual whales. Let's cross-reference that with Tiblio. What is Tiblio saying? Not big numbers on the bull spread. Let's see on the bear spread. Not big. KGC a little bit bigger. Let's see what KGC is doing. KGC. Well, early this morning, if you were quick on that Tiblio call, you would have crushed this play. Man, that was a brutal sell-off. People are very much betting against KGC. Alex, shout out. Kobe, AXXA is poised to repeat Feb. I guess I would. This is on the OTC market. If it's not listed on a normal exchange like the Nasdaq, the New York Stock Exchange, this is on the what's referred to as the gray market. That's also why it's delayed data, and you can see OTC right here. That's a different OTC than trading off exchange. Like, it's weird that they have the same. It's a different type of OTC, but this means it's not trading on a normal exchange. You actually have to be on a broker that has access to these, and beyond it, I abhor trading on OTC markets. If you think the normal market is not regulated enough, you're going to hate the OTC market. It has far less regulation. Very crazy stuff happens day in and day out on the gray market. You know what's one thing we haven't done in a hot minute? Could you post, if you're in the US, could you post what state you're in? And if you're not in the US, could you post what country you're in right now? We haven't done this in a hot minute to show how much apes are spread across the world. Let's give some shout out. Someone in Texas, Colorado, Florida, Wakanda, Tennessee, Arizona, New York, Canada, Florida, Minnesota, Georgia, Cali, unfortunately, Atlanta, Greece, Spain, Norway. We got some Norway people in here, some Canadian people, Minnesota, essentially Canadian people, Ireland, Sweden, Norway, New York. Hey, I'm walking here. El Salvador, Delaware, the UK, Spain, Florida, England, South Dakota, Oklahoma, Wakanda. Again, lots of people from Wakanda. Scotland, Scotsman, Canada, Florida, Puerto Rico, Tennessee, Sweden. A couple people from Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland, Australia. Australia. Isn't it like the middle of the night in Australia? What are you doing up? LA, Minnesota, eh? Japan, Israel, Kansas, all over. Alabama, Roll Tide, Denmark, Arizona. Love it. Love to see it. Morning, can we talk about RSLS? Love you guys. Tennessee. Shout out, Ms. Cox. Hola, Senor Beefy. I'm trying to get XRP on KuCoin, but I don't know which to buy. What's the difference between TUSD, USDC, USDC? So I don't actually think you can get straight up Ripple. That's more of a pairing you're looking at. I believe the place to get Ripple, and please someone correct me if I'm wrong, especially if you are from the Ripple Ravenger community. I think you want to get it on Uphold, Trey, just so you know. Once again, that is Uphold, I believe, is probably one of the most popular places to actually buy Ripple itself. All right, and then RSLS. RSLS, not doing a whole heck of a lot there, Kinky Kong. A pattern of just, it did a split. I'm just seeing lower highs, lower lows. Is this an all-time low that it hit? Okay, it did recently make, whoa. Reshape. Kinky Kong, this might be something to it. Like, all this stock has ever done is just go lower and lower and lower. Like, ever since it started in 2016, all I see is down, 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 down. If you're in it maybe for a quick pop, like maybe you're hoping it can break above 2 and maybe run to like 260 and you're just trying to do, oops, I don't want that. Maybe you're just trying to do like a quick active trade. Okay, that's potential. You're risking 160. So you're risking about 40 cents on a $2 stock. That's 20%. So the risk is kind of wide. This is a tough play. I think there's better plays out there at Kinky Kong. All right. So the quarter told me, hey, how's this going to work? Are things bouncing? Was the quarter right? Did the quarter tell me what I need to be doing? Someone said LGVN is picking up. LGVN, if it goes to 25, 26, the shorts could be utterly screwed on that play. Anyone who just said Massachusetts, Twitter me. If you're from Massachusetts, Kinky Kong would like you to Twitter her. Market is a dumpster fire today. I think it's a dumpster fire that, okay, so this trade is about to pan out. Dingity ding ding ding. So in real time, this is kind of an explanation, or it at least would have, well, it's about to work out. Let's see. I shouldn't get too braggadocious before we actually hit. We need to get, let's call it 468, I don't know, 10, 15, something like that. Let's see if it actually hits, or is it just going to be screwing around with my ego? Matt, are you in CFVI? They are bringing Rumble private. Well, they're bringing Rumble from being private to public. I am not in CFVI. I like it. I'm supportive of it. I just don't have unlimited capital right now. One of these days when I take over the world, I'll have unlimited capital. But at this moment in time, what's going on, Versatile Denzel? What's going on? Matt stopping by to say hi. Back down in my account. School and trading in the same time is hard. Anyways, how are you? You know, I'm excited for the holiday season. I really enjoy December. All the cozy cardigans, all of the tea, all of the warm drinks, the hot cocoa, all the cool lights, the trees, the menorahs, every other potential tradition that I'm forgetting in this quick spiel. It's a fun time of the year. It's a fun time. I'm a fan of snow sports. I enjoy skiing, snowboarding, all that stuff. I like the winter wonderland. I know you're not getting that down in Georgia, but I'm a fan of it. Getting in crypto on Voyager, do I need a ledger? No, you don't need a ledger. So a ledger is, I have a ledger somewhere. I don't know where mine is, but it looks like a USB, and you can literally take your crypto offline and like store it there. And then when you want to bring it back online, you would plug that back into your computer. It's a very safe way to store it. You're not going to be earning like any interest or doing anything like that because it needs to be online and someone has to be utilizing it for them to pay you for your service. But it's a very safe way to store it. Like I know people who take a considerable amount of crypto offline, they put it in a ledger, and then they just keep that in their safety deposit box. PPSI is halted. PPSI is crushing it. About to get a breakout, and it got halted. Let me check the Ortex on it for all of you. Ortex. What do we have? The short interest is estimated to be not announced. So Ortex does not have the information on PPSI. I would assume it's very high though, because the utilization is 99%. The cost to borrow is 372%. It is a low float. So I don't have that exact short interest reading for you, but it's going to be, the shares on loan is 2.27 million. The utilization is high. So let's assume 2 million is short. So you would do 2 million divided by whatever the free float is. The free float is 4.5 million. So the short interest on PPSI is probably around 40%. It's roughly 40% if I had to guess. And it got halted. Oh, wow. Okay, so that one worked out. So there is a live example. We marked it out right when it happened, and now you would be able to lock in your gain. To get more considerable gains, you probably needed exposure to the options market. You probably would have wanted to buy like the 469s for this Friday and play that bounce back. Like, I don't know, you'd be up, I don't know, what, 5-10% right now. So that was the play right there. You bought it when it closed outside around 467.50. You had to withstand a little bit of crap, and then you just locked it in when it crossed this. That's one potential strategy there. Did I personally take this trade? No, absolutely not. I just think beyond me teaching the theory of some of these, of how to use them, it's good to show it in real time, and that was a literal real-time example right there. Man, all hedge funds had to do was sit back and watch apes fight amongst themselves. We need to stop the drama and stay united. I agree with that. I myself have taken steps, like active steps, to just go out of my way for me to not be involved in it. And folks, life is way easier that way. Way easier that way. If you're just not involving yourself in drama, life is great. It's easy for everyone to say that, like, oh, this community should not have drama, but when you have so many people, there's people who just are naturally attracted to drama. Unfortunately, I don't think the drama is going to go anywhere, because there's some people who just, that's what they're into. Folks, you have the Kardashians, who created a multi-billion-dollar empire off of drama. There are entire YouTube channels and Twitter channels that are exclusively into the world of drama. There is a clear appetite for drama. That's life. I think it's silly on a personal note. I think it's damaging to our community, but with it, whatever. It's very easy to actively pick to just not. If you see it, okay, cool. Leave it. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to watch it. You don't need to like it. You don't need to retweet it. You don't need to upvote it. You don't have to do anything. If you see drama, you could do that awkward thing, like where you open the door room and you're like, oh, and you just like slowly close it before anyone like sees that you're in there, and you move on with your life. What do you think of Apple 205 call expiring December 31st? Unusual whales trade. Let me check this out. Apple. Did that fire today? A 205 call December 31st. It was on the ask side. Apple. Okay, I don't feel the most confident about that going into the money that quickly. I think Apple will exceed 200. It's just a question of, will it happen by then? This is the type of trade that you're messing around, because like the technicals are already overbought. This thing bounced off of 147 and has not stopped ripping since then. Do I think could it continue up to 205 for the remainder of the month? Of course it could. Do I think that the odds of that are favorable? Well, no, not really. But if there's whales out there taking those types of bets, you can make some money. I mean, you could buy this 175 break and just have a goal. Like, do you want to sell at 176, the high? Do you want to sell at 180? Do you want to look for a percentage gain? I don't think I'd be holding it for that going into the money, but I think even this morning I said there's clearly opportunity in Apple, because so many people are making bullish bets on Apple. Honestly, if I wasn't so tied up in the Nvidia trade, I'd probably be trading Apple right now. Nvidia, man, Apple, it's looking so good. Apple, this thing's crushing it. Crushing it. I'm trying to think about, do I actually like Apple? Apple's looking good. Disney's looking good. The Qs are coming back around. It's just, I don't know what Nvidia is doing right now. Like, where's Pelosi at? Where's Pelosi at when you need her? Like, Pelosi, someone needs to tell Pelosi that Nvidia is down. Like, maybe she's just not aware. Maybe because she's on like West Coast time out there in California. Maybe she's just not up yet. I don't know what she's doing today. But We need to let Pelosi know that NVIDIA is down. She'll fix it for us. Hey, Mark, you sound much better today. Question, can you back up an offline wallet address in case something happens to the USB? Yeah, so there are actually, it depends on like the hardware like itself, but there are various ways to do it. And like Ledger is one of the ways that you can do it. They actually, there's like some that are like, they actually boast themselves as being like a fire resistant like hardware wallet. The world of hardware wallets is crazy. Like there's some very fancy schmancy ones. So with that, just do your research, read around, read the reviews, do all that good stuff. Do you really know that Nancy Pelosi has these investments? Yeah, I mean, politicians have to publicly post it. Her husband has NVIDIA through his holding company. Yeah, but if you are somehow thinking that she's not giving him information, that's just crazy. Her account and her husband's account has had some of the most superb timing known to man. It is statistically impossible for her to outperform the market as consistently as she has. It's like literally impossible. So to think that they're not using their positions of power and influence to make more opportune and informed decisions, like that's just being naive. Like that's like, someone said not just Pelosi. Oh, of course. Hers are just the most like egregious, but like, yeah, a ton of politicians do it. And it's not a right or left thing. It's a politician thing. Politicians are continually insider trading time and time again. It's not a right thing. It's not a left thing. It's a, are you a politician type of a deal. Someone just said, no, not true, sexist. How did that make me sexist? This is the issue. If you identify, or I shouldn't say if you identify because you probably don't. If the remainder of the world identifies you as being extremely left or extremely right, like what? Like, people are literally laughing at you right now. That's sexist. That I just said something that's factual. Sexist? Michelle. Seriously, like, I bet you're a good person. I bet you are right there. Like, just, you're probably fighting so damn hard for some fairness and equality in the world, which the world definitely needs. But you have to understand, when you have comments like that, you're only discrediting yourself. Like, I'm probably right there with you. Yes, I would love for the world to be a little bit better. But if someone was doing things as egregious as Nancy Pelosi, I would call them out, and I have called them out. I have videos documenting it. I have live streams documenting it. We were recently talking about a male. How can I? He was insider trading NVIDIA. He was doing it. He dumped his NVIDIA right before they lost the ARM deal. That was literally this week. Michelle, I bet you mean good, but seriously, this type of like bullshit virtue signaling, it is so tiring to the rest of the world. If you are on the extreme left of the political spectrum, or if you're on the extreme right, from everyone else, from that middle group, we are so fucking tired of your incessant, bombastic, mental gymnastics comments. The middle, the extreme middle of the road people are so fucking tired of everyone on the extremes. We are so tired of it. It is exclusively that minority. You, both of the extremes, the rest of the world does not like you whatsoever. It is tiring to all of us that you Looney Tunes people run all of media. You're running all of social media. And to the rest of us, they're like, Jesus Christ, I'm just trying to get through the day. Get over it. Holy shit. I'm a sexist. I guarantee you. On top of that, someone else is going to be like, you're picking on... When I was picking on Pat Toomey for being an asshole, do you know how many people are like, you just hate the right, you just hate Republicans? Folks, this extreme nature of political division, fuck, you're just like adding into it. And everyone else is so tired of that bullshit. We are so tired of it. So many of us, leave us alone. That the 1% on the far left, the 1% on the far right, that middle 98%, please leave us alone. Please, please, please. We have so much other important shit going on in our life that we don't want to hear your absurd antics of like conspiracy bullshit and racism. We also don't want to hear your virtue signaling about how you're so much better because you took one women gender study class in college and apparently you're now like an expert on everything going on in the world and how like our society and culture has like screwed over every person that's like possibly a minority. If it's true, cool. If it's not true, leave us the fuck alone. Like, oh, Jesus, man. Like, oh my God, that stuff. This is about stocks, and you somehow made me go onto this bullshit rant about things? Michelle, get off your goddamn high horse. Here's $20 for nailing it again, and thanks you for the mod tag, brother. Always got your back. It's, I'm left. It's a Gen Z thing. Ask her how old she is. She's left now. There's no way. I guarantee you. She's probably contacting Vice right now about how like Matt's a sexist streamer. I guarantee you she's already like, she's probably trying to like work on like the cancel culture for me already. She's like, we need to take this kid down. I could already see it. Like sexist finance streamer, white male sexist streamer strikes again. Taking away the voice. Tell her to contact HR. Yeah, they're already working on my canceling documents. You can hear them typing away. You can hear those keyboarders typing away. She's still here. Michelle, what's scary about this is like, I probably agree with you on many things in life. I probably do. I'm not against you. I'm not. Do I want the world to be a better place? Of course I do. That's why I have an entire YouTube channel about the manipulation and bullshit going on in the market. I want the world to be like, we're in a weird way, we're both fighting for the world to be better. Maybe we just have a different lens through which we see better, but you have to just understand. To blatantly just call that sexist, you might as well just, if you are Gen Z, which I don't know, I don't want to assume your age. I definitely, after being accused of being a sexist, the next thing I need to be is accused of an ageist. So I'm not going to assume your age, but maybe you'll get this reference. You just took your credibility and you yeeted it off a cliff. You feel me? Oh, man. Where is GME? That's a good question. GME is at 162, and like much of the market's not having the best day. Thank you for saying what we were all thinking, shout out Matt. Next week on Matt's Rants, Matt talks about why rainbows are at the heart of all things wrong with the world. Please clip this rant and put it on Kohrs Light, please. I want to share this everywhere. We'll keep it a secret between all of us. Just a secret. Awkwardly opens door. Oh, hey. 100%. It's hard being moderate these days. Thick guy teaching about Bollinger Bands learns something new every day. What this guy? Shout out Midnight Run. I hope you're crushing it. So, pirates. So Matt is 1%er. I'm not. I wish I was a 1%er. Fuck yeah, I want to make money. What's wrong with that? Like, I don't get that. I know I've already gone over it today, but like, if your goal is to like create a company and crush it at your job and get promoted and you do this and you do that, or you like, you just do something cool that the rest of society finds valuable and you become a 1%er, like, I don't see why that's like a bad goal. I don't get it. Especially because does no one find it cool that at no point in history has class mobility been this high? At no point in history of humanity, obviously the 1% is very dynamic. Some people are in it, some people are out of it. But statistically, there's been no better time in the planet, the history of humans, your opportunity of going from out of the 1% to into the 1% is the highest it's ever been. I'm not saying it's like good odds, but I'm saying relative to 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, and like beyond that, like whatever you were born, you were stuck there. And many people are going to be stuck in the situation they're born into now, but relative to everything, we're progressing in the right way. Class mobility is the highest ratings. Could it go higher? Yes, I want it to go higher. There are many, many issues, but I don't, there shouldn't be a 1%. I mean, now you're just defying math. Like, as long as there's like wealth and currency, there's going to be a 1%. Because like, that's just math. That's how those things work. Yeet Michelle. No, I'm not kicking her. I don't think she has any ill will. I really don't. In addition to Kohrs Lake, can we separate this goal to Matt's rant channels for day when I just want to hear you rant for hours? I feel like it could be therapeutic. Oh, folks. Gasparino's recent tweet. All right, we're going to end this off with probably a whole different Gasparino. What did Gasparino tweet? Game on. CEO versus Marco Hodis. This is the issue. Is like you have people who are trying to be more divisive. I don't know. I just already instantly ratioed. I think too many people like Gasparino, like much of what I perceive to be our political issues of the time, people are trying to separate. People are trying to divide. People are trying to emphasize how groups are so incredibly different and it's the other group that's the problem. I don't know. I guess I just have too much faith in humanity. I have too much faith in my fellow person. I think the average person born into this world, we have a lot more overlapping similarities than we possibly do differences. I think when it comes down to it, the average person's just trying to get through the day and make a better life for themselves and their family. Is that everyone? Obviously not. There are going to be malicious players, but tensions are high. People are at each other's throat. I don't think that's a good thing, and I think it's perpetuated horrifically by media. I think it's mainstream media, social media. It is. I mean, you have all these clickbaity headlines, titles. We live in a world where you have media for the reasons of profit and revenue are against us. And when you combine that with a severe lack of critical thought, when people, because the Dunn-Kruger effect, think that they're experts from reading a title on Facebook, from reading a title of an article, from reading the title of a YouTube page, people they're armchair experts with an extreme lack of critical thought, and we're all being played by media to be at each other's throats. When in reality, I think if people sat down and truly had a conversation, they would realize that their differences are nuanced, and the overlap of their similarities and their goals and what they want in their life are far, far more similar than most people would have you believe. I don't get it. I don't get it. Matt, go get your espresso already. Enjoy your midday break. Actually, we have some work to do today. But yes, it is cappuccino time. Cappuccino time. Folks, thank you for the support. Michelle, I hope you return, and maybe we could have one of these insightful discussions, and hopefully we can see eye to eye. I don't think there's a reason for us to dislike each other. I don't think there's a reason to fight. I think there's a reason for us to try to come to some sort of middle ground where we can see eye to eye, because I think that's how life should go, opposed to just saying that the other person's wrong and walking away, because then that's how you each get trapped into your own echo chamber. And if there's one thing that we should all be against our own echo chambers. I will be back at 3 p.m. in about 4 hours. I appreciate all of the support. I appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you in a couple hours. Whatever you do for the midday, stick to your trading plan. I beg of you to stick to your trading plan. I'll catch you in a little bit. And until then, best of luck. And as always, from both Chair and myself, best of luck in the markets. I'll catch you soon.